And we are live. Mandelbulb Monday number 7. We're getting started in a couple minutes here. Oh, where's my fire sound? Hold on. There we go. So grab what you need, get that water, coffee, smokables, whatever you got. And we're going to do some fractals today. Keep losing the chat here. Okay. And oh yeah, I should probably check this. Make sure our sound is all right. We appear to be good. And yes, this is the new 4 p.m. time slot that I'm trying out because there are other streams I would like to check out, specifically Home Lab. And there's just too much overlap. So this way I can catch most of Home Lab's stream. Let's do a shout out here. Yeah, and also I feel like there might be, there are people who want to check this out that can't because they're maybe working or doing whatever at 2 o'clock. I know 2 o'clock is like a weird time. It's kind of even a weird time for me. I kind of want to go later, so we're going to go at 4 o'clock. We'll see how that works for a little bit, at least. I think this might be the new time slot for everything during the week. And then I am bringing Tendril TV back. And right now, the Season 2 premiere, as it were, will be February 27th, Saturday. And I'm also going to be doing that at an earlier time slot. So I think right now, the plan is to do it at 10 p.m. Eastern instead of midnight. We'll see how that works. So let's hop on over to Mandelbulb. And here we are. How you doing, y'all? Welcome to the show. Hey, Dr. G. Well, if it isn't Prolapse Visual. Dude, did you see when Tomas and Brett Side were roasting me on the at the beat off? I clipped it. It's over on Brett Side's channel if you want to check it out. And Tomas is doing this this bit about Matrix themed fucking whatevers. And how I was the last 6 seconds of my songs always makes him feel like he's being ripped out of the Matrix. I can't even do it justice. You got to check that out. But yeah, we're here. We're doing Mandelbulbs, Mandelbrats. Indeed, Mandelbrot Monday. And then Brightside tagged it with Matzo Ball Monday. And then Stupid Fred was like, "Is this guy a Jew also?" But I'm not. I just that was hilarious though. Okay, so yeah, we got our typical old school Mandelbulb here. And you know what? We got to visit the hot box first. Maybe you are and you just don't know it yet. Oh, being ripped out of the Matrix? I think that was an apt description. So cheers, y'all. Yeah, it's snowing here, and I got the snow cam going on and the other scene. So let's go to that. Just gonna do one quick little one-hitter hit here, and we're gonna go back to Mandelbulb. But yeah, I got the snow cam over here, and it's hard to see the snow actually falling, but this is right outside my window. So I'll just leave that there as a curiosity. So let's go with this mutagen again. I'm really digging how the mutagen has been giving us some good results recently. Maybe we'll just crank these up. We'll go crazy with it. Let's mutate a bunch of things. Maybe that's too much. I do have a lot of brush to clear. All the woods is just all fallen trees and old shit. It's a lot of firewood I gotta collect when it gets warm out. Some of these are pretty wild. Is it actually adding any... It's not adding any formulas. I want it to add formulas. Hey, here we go. This is the wild shit I'm looking for. Oh, even something like that. It's pretty sick. Maybe more of this, Has it added any formulas yet? Come on, really? It's not adding any? Let's do this. Let's keep mutating. That's all I did last spring, and you can't even tell. Yeah, dude, it's just nonstop. The whole, like, my yard is not, like, I don't really care about, like, upkeep. Like, I don't rake leaves or anything, so it's just, like, I don't know. I'll definitely pick up all the branches when I have to mow the lawn and whatnot. Which I only do maybe, like, once every, like, maybe, like, 2 times a summer. I'll mow it. I generally like when everything's really overgrown. You know what, let's go with this weird one over here. Let's send this to the main editor. We're going to calculate that out. Okay, so I think this added one of the box formulas. No, it didn't. Okay, it changed it to Bullbox, which is a fun formula. Hey, Jump Slick. How you doing today, sir? Welcome to the Mandelbulb Monday 007 James Bond edition. Right now we're just doing mutations and seeing if we can get anything, get some weird stuff going. Like right now I'm looking at some of these weird like germ-shaped ones, and this one is kind of like a, looks like an insect of some sort. Let's try this one. Hey, M. I keep forgetting we're doing this later. Is this better for everyone? Or is it like, I don't know, I think 2 p.m. for me might be too early, because again, I want to check out other streams. And it's like right in the middle of the day, so I think maybe 4 p.m. might be better. So what do y'all think? I know some of us are in different time zones and whatnot, but I kind of want to have it, especially Noise just told me that he can't make any of them really at 2 o'clock because he is at work. So this way he'll be able to make, I'll be able to make them. Aw. Yes, so Dr. G, we just started at 4 p.m. Eastern, 7 minutes ago. Oh, you're concerned about me, Em? I'm okay, yeah. Everything's sorted. I had really no other reason because I was watching OMLab stream. And let's do a shout out again to OMLab. Go check him out if you're interested in sound design and music and all different aspects of making electronic music and plugins and all that stuff. gives you enough time to make and eat food after work. Right on. Cool, dude. Yeah, I think this might work better for most people. Let's do that hydration check. And let's use this as our first save of the day. So we're going to go into the navigator and we'll start our chain of animation keyframes. So we got that. We're going to start a save chain and we're on MM 007 version 1.1. Okay, so we got that. Now we're free to continue. Hey, Dendroid, sip, sip. Yes, get that hydration check, y'all. How you doing today, Dendroid? So let's see if we can mess with some of these parameters, because right now, okay, it did add, this is good. This is what I like when you do the mutagen and it adds all these different formulas together. And it kind of does it in a way that'll work. Like it's not going to crash the program if I have the wrong, parameters in there. The chat has taken 1 shots during the stream. Oh shit, we have a shot command now? I gotta re-up on my tequila soon. I think that'll be fun. A tequila stream? That could get a little crazy. It's actually been a really long time since I had a drink. Okay, so this is what we got right now. We started our save chain. Let's think about, we're going to try and edit some of these parameters, right? So we got Venice Pine. The pine is doing the weird, these clusters. And then I think the mana warbulb is sort of a more overall shape to the whole thing. And then I'm not sure what the Beth is doing. Let's see. Some of these are going to really... And this would be a cool animation. So if we do edit some of these and then keyframe where we end up, and we'll kind of rotate a little bit maybe. Get like a... Let's take a look at the looking rolling angle. We had really low at 0.2. Let's go to 1. I'll keyframe that. And I'm really into doing animations again because my other computer's free now. Hey, OmLab with the raid. Thank you, sir. Welcome to the show. Hope the rest of your stream went well. And we're doing Mandelbulbs today. And hey, Evil Deadhead, right on. Hey, everyone's here. Guy Doer is now following. Thank you, Guy Doer. Hell yeah. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to the stream. We're just getting into doing some animations right now. So we animation keyframed that. And let's just do a quick little render out of this. And we'll see what that animation will look like. We'll get just an idea. Okay, cool. So we want to do that. We're going to continue with that, but we're going to start doing some more manipulations to the formulas. Shot. And let us once again shout out OmLab. This is the guy I was just talking about. Angry squirrel. Yes, the squirrel. Dude. Okay, so yeah, this is the animation window where you send keyframes to, and this is a great way to save your whole deal, because you can just recall any of the frames later on. And then here in the navigator window, this is where you kind of fly around, if you think of it that way. And these fractals are these sort of planets that you can land on. And someone mentioned once that it was very much like an old DOS game. I think it was called Rise of the Triad, where you kind of fly around in this low-resolution version of the world. So this is really cool. I love this landscape that it's taking on with some of these little Fibonacci spiral things. And then over here, this is more like a rocky kind of thing, rocky terrain. And then over here is kind of this organic thing that looks like it grew. Hey, thanks, Ohm. Thank you for the raid, and have a great day, man. Got a Boogie. Hey, that was a great tune by Weird Al Yankovic. You should check out Got a Boogie by Weird Al, if you're not familiar. I think everyone should be familiar with Weird Al. Okay, so let's get the hydration check again. Kidney stone. Yo, dude, that's what Sess was saying too. He had me dying talking about how it looks like a kidney stone, and they do really have that kind of... It looks like a rocky formation, but it looks like it grew. Or like, you know how stalactites and stalagmites form, that kind of thing. Where it's like just over the course of a really long period of time with all the mineral in the water, it just kind of forms. And yo, let's get that coffee check too. Okay, so let's keyframe this. And we'll save again. Because if it crashes, then we'll be good. Okay, so now I want to maybe play around some of these other formulas. Let's see what we can get. So formula 2 is Man-O-War bulb. So this is kind of like the overall shape of the thing right now. Oh, this is cool. This could be great for animation. Just doing the power. Which I'm not totally sure what the power is actually referring to in this case, but I think we're going to leave the Z. Usually when you do Z multiplier, it kind of like stretches everything apart. And M says, pretty sure Weird Al is a distant cousin or something. Never knew or met him, though. Right on, for real? The power. It is the power. And then Man-O-War strength. Might end up resetting these. Because, yeah, I mean, start to lose a lot of the actual surface of the thing. Let's reset those. Let's actually fly around a little more and look around. Right now we're trying to just kind of come up with an overall composition and also doing keyframes in the back of our mind. How's that snow cam looking? Hey, subvids. How is apophysis? Apophysis? I don't know. I've never tried apophysis. You say, love how Brian Posehn, but don't know it off top of head. Love Brian Posehn, but don't know it off top of head. Okay, this could be really cool, where there's like a valley in this area here and all these mountains. Let's see if we can mess with the far plane. So we're at 38.3. What if we go to like, okay, so it's not going to be too much of a difference, huh? Because there's nothing really back there. So if we go back to like around 50, let's mess with the field of view a little bit. There we go. That might be better to get it up closer. kind of want to slide over. Oops, okay. So now we may have cut into the thing. Let's see if we do this. Yeah. Yeah, I'm really enjoying doing these sort of landscape kind of things. Let's keyframe that, and we're going to make sure we're not going to overwrite anything. Yep. It's always good to check. Keyframe. Once again, we're going to save. Hey, Retro. Oh, wait, Subvid says, what about chaotic fractals? No, actually, honestly, this is the only fractal software I've ever used, and it's really one of the only softwares I use for making like still images. He talks about raising his kid and introducing him to Weird Al without any original reference. So no, I've never used chaotic fractals or that other one you talked about. Oh man, it didn't. I was shopping and shiznit it. This kid is at a party, and here's Beat It for the first time. This sounds a lot like Eat It. Oh shit, yeah. So subvids, this is called Mandelbulb 3D. It's available free on Windows, and if you have an emulator for Mac, you can run it, but you have to run it, inside of Windows. But actually, Mario was telling us that you can get Mandelbulber, or that works on since Mario's not here, we'll shout him out. Yeah, so Mandelbulb 3D is the one we're working with right now, which is pretty awesome as it is. It's very basic, but it does what it does really well, which is like rendering out these crazy fractals. And so, yeah. Let's play around with this for right now. So we're going to send this to the main. We'll go out here to the main window. We'll go calculate. And we'll see what we get. I might want to try and get some of this background filled in more, so there's no like holes in this, but this is, oh wow, that's interesting. Okay, so we're getting a lot of these pits in here. I want to see if we can do something about that. But this, I love how this, like, all this stuff in here. I can't zoom in anymore right now, but all this, like, that's definite, like, kidney stone, like, Fibonacci sequence, artichoke vibes. It looks ace. Yeah, for sure, dude. It's very fun. And you don't have to know math. You kind of just mess around with parameters. And the best way to do parameters is inside the navigator, because you're kind of flying around and it makes more sense because you're seeing what the changes are doing in real time. Rather than having to, like, when you calculate, you kind of have to wait for it to see what it looks like. So the interactive thing is really fun. You'll stick with noises and less math. Tried to play in this program once, and my poor little monkey brain could not comprehend. You don't have to know math, dude. It's just like, you kind of just play with these sliders. Like, let's do the C multiplier. This is gonna, like, make everything really fuzzy, yeah. Meaning, I think that it's pulling on the z-axis, like it's pulling stuff apart in a way. Manowar strength. Okay, so we have to shrink the Manowar strength, I think, to get those things to fill in. Actually, no, wrong way. Maybe it's actually both ways. Yeah. With a lot of these parameters, they end up at the same place if you go one far way to the left or one far way to the right. Phoenix Strength. Okay, so this might actually be a better one. That way, yeah, that fills in a lot more of the... Oh, that's exactly what I wanted to do. Awesome. Sometimes you do find settings that really kind of push the whole thing in the direction you want. A lot of times it is kind of stumbling around. So at least for me, it's highly experimental. Okay, so let's keyframe that. And that would be kind of cool animation to morph between those two keyframes, just to have everything like smooth out. Ooh. What happened? Oh, I think I like double clicked on the actual navigator window. Landslide, yes. You say, I presume it's pretty taxing. Yeah, it's so you can see my stream like stuttering anytime there's any calculation going on. Yeah, for sure. And I'm doing everything from one computer. And yeah, it doesn't actually use GPU, it uses CPU, so there's that. So let's mess around with this some more. I kind of like went to the wrong spot by, I'm not sure what it is, but I think if you click in the navigator window and then drag, it'll like move the whole thing. And I kind of wish it wouldn't do that because sometimes on the trackpad I accidentally click. Okay, let's stay kind of zoomed in. Let's just do some looking here. I'm going to look over this way. Again, we're just going to try and get like a nice composition. Let's see if we walk over there. Yeah, that's kind of where we were before. And let's get that same kind of composition going. And this is kind of really where you dial in your overall composition. And this is kind of where I equate it to photography in a way, because you're kind of just trying to frame things in a nice way and make the overall composition nice. And then all the lighting stuff, that's like darkroom stuff, right? Okay, so let's view that to the main. I'm going to calculate that, and now we should have a lot less of this pitting in here. It should be more like full. But also we lose some of the other stuff in there. I think that's okay though. Let's see where we're at. Okay, so we're going to have to go, keeping with the 1 hour for each piece theme, we got a couple more minutes to like zoom around, and then we're going to start doing lighting. So let's get that hydration check again. So yeah, it looks like we're going to go with this. This is a good composition. But we could just play around with a couple more parameters here. We actually haven't tried Formula 3, but it's actually not letting us do anything to the, unless maybe the iteration would do something cool. Nope, not really. There is a thing like with the iterations where I guess it gets to a point and doesn't add much more, so like around 4 was where we had it, yeah. Maybe doing something like that and then looking down a bit more. That's really wild looking. Also has that sort of tardigrade look to it, like the one we did a couple weeks ago. Let's go with that. Because the far plane wasn't doing much here once you get over a certain number. So maybe we'll leave it somewhere in there. We do have these weird little protrusions of rock, but those could be kind of cool. Or if we don't like them, we could just end up removing them later in Procreate. So let's do that. Let's animation keyframe that. We'll save the animation again and harvest stuff from it later if we want to. And back in the navigator, we're going to say view to main. We're going to calculate 3D. And this is what we're going to work with on lighting. Okay, so let's actually start a save of these now. Save the M3I. I kind of wish there was a way to rotate the whole thing without having to kind of go into the navigator and rotate the actual object and then change the canvas size. Because I kind of feel like maybe this would be a better vertical piece, but we'll make sure it looks good horizontally, and then we can flip it vertically later if we want. So now before we go into lighting, let's visit the hotbox one more time. You know, I meant to go make a snow bong. I'm gonna have to do that later, but I didn't do that yet. So yeah, how does it, can you actually see anything going on in the snow cam in the other scene? Cheers, everybody. Okay. Back to Mandelbulb. Snow cam. Okay, so let us do lighting on this now. You know what? I just want to try one more thing. I know I keep going back to the navigator and being like, hey, let's not do that anymore, but let's see. Just look a little bit more that way. Yeah, just like that. That's perfect. View to mean. Calculate. Okay, so let us go to lighting. And this as default is like what they call a global light, which I think it's a good move to leave that, or have one at least of these tabs as a global light, and then we'll kind of give an overall flavor of the kind of light that's hitting the object. Maybe it's more of a blue like that, and then we think about where the light is coming from. It would be kind of up off screen here somewhere in general, but like it's almost like a faraway sun kind of light if you think of it that way. And so like let's do, okay, put that for a second. For light 2, we're going to make it visible. And it's going to be positional light. So positional, visible, and then we're going to place it with the midpoint. We're just going to turn it on. We'll change the color because if we want a brown light. So these are going to kind of be more to the cool side. And we're going to say midpoint, and then we can place that light in space. And we might do the thing where you use this one as like a moon or a sun that's far away. Oh, so the Z position doesn't seem to be doing much. I wonder if that's because of the far plane setting. So I can't seem to be able to get it to go in front of the actual object here. That's interesting. Maybe that's actually pretty cool. And that's a good trick because now I'm actually able to use this as like more of a sun, whereas before it would be casting light on the object, but now it's actually seeming like it's behind everything. It's not actually making light on this whole area, which it wouldn't be if they were like rising above this way off in the distance. So that's really awesome. We'll just leave it right there for now. Let's go on to light 3. Let's get that hydration check again. And coffee check. And here we're going to save after every light. Every new light that we add. Okay, so lighting tab 3. Let's get a color going. This would be sort of a purpley blue. And we're going to set it to positional. We'll set the midpoint. Maybe we'll do something. Let's work on this area. So now we have to balance this huge light source over here. Let's just A-B that. Yeah, it's really intense. Kind of bring it down a couple notches and by putting it over closer to this side, we're balancing out the light source over here. Because at least there's this line here. It's a V shape, but it also wants to continue down into that corner. Kind of bisects the whole piece. So now let's just position it. Needs X to the left a little bit. It's not too much. Yeah, maybe a bit more to the right and more intense. That might be a little bit too intense, but we'll leave it like that for now because I think it's later on we'll have to take it down to balance stuff over here, but right now it's balancing with this. So let's say that or that. Although I don't know, I kind of like this. Maybe we don't even need to add a ton of lights to this one. Let's look at it from further away. Pretty nice. Thanks, Em. I'm enjoying this one a lot. Let's save again. And then we're going to stretch. Let's do those deep breaths. And another thing I'm realizing is really important in terms of stretching when you're streaming is to stretch your fingers out, like your palm and your wrist and all that stuff. I've actually completely switched over to using the trackpad on my laptop because it's easier for me to move my entire arm to make motions, and it's not like making my hand turn into a claw after a while like the mouse does. And I've tried a bunch of different kinds of mice over the years. And I could never find that perfect mouse, so now I'm just like back to basics with the laptop. Okay, so let's go to light 4. Positional. Let's grab a color. Maybe this one's more warm. Something like that. We're going to make this, it actually is invisible. Okay, so it's just very intense. And the position, let's see how far we can move it in the Z. Okay, yeah, it wants to be more like that. And this is kind of completing the triangle. That's this light source, this corner, and then here. It's because of this line. Which, like, this is already implied as the other part of the triangle, but now it makes more sense with balance. But actually now the color, I think, is too warm. Kind of like that. Just A-B it. Just look at it from far away. Okay, let's stick with that for right now. Well, 1 second. Let's see if we adjust this over a little bit. And that could be nice too, having it cast more light on this. Because that's also making another triangle with this sort of top corner peak. This, and then down through here again, and then back to here. Which is kind of intersecting with the bigger triangle that's here. which is really nice. Hydration check. Let's get refill. Still too warm. Okay, now let's go to save again. Save M3I. Okay, we'll go to light 5. Maybe this one will be slightly more to the warm side than the last one was. And it's going to be positional. Let's do the midpoint. Maybe we'll go for somewhere over here. Here, yeah, I think there. Turn the intensity down a bunch. Move the Z position to get some more perspective on it here. Let's take the intensity way down. I think the move here is having it sort of there, so it's casting light on this ridge. And that's kind of giving it this curve, actually, where as before I was seeing everything more as like those two triangles. This has a curve. And then, let's see, I did want to try and maybe think about this as a vertical piece. Coming along well, like it. Thanks, Retro. If this were vertical, we would rotate it 90 degrees clockwise. Okay, so let's keep going with, so actually, yeah, that's good. That's good for light 5. Let's save again. I know this seems a little like, a little much with the saving, but it's totally worth it to have multiple versions. They're not that big of a file. Okay, we're on light 6. Hey, Noises. Welcome to the show, sir. Chug. Wait, no, isn't it, we need a chug command too, but for right now we got the shot command, thanks to Dr. G. Okay, so let's go to light 6. We're going to do this light, and then I'm going to hit the restroom, and then we're going to come back and start another one in, like, well, 1 per hour. May take a beer shot as well as wheel. Okay, so positional. Let's grab a color. Maybe we'll make this one even more red towards the warm than it was last time. Somewhere about there. And this will just be like the very last sort of subtle light that we can cast on something. You know, what if we do global for this one? Let's see what global looks like. If we do the angles. Yeah. Let's take a look at it from far away. I do kind of feel like I almost need something in this spot here in the sky. But to do that, we'll need to use the light we're using right now. So let's see. We don't necessarily need this. It's just making it more, throwing more pink on the whole thing. We don't necessarily need more color. I think we need more, something else to balance maybe over here. So this might be another, this would be one of those like, hey, Paul. Right on. And he just says, well, my brain is still cold from outside. Yeah, it's an iceberg for sure. Yeah, and aurora for sure. Those could be like, you know what? That would be really awesome if there's like a good way to make auroras with this. Oh, actually, you know what? We forgot about the, dude, I totally forgot about the ambient light and the fog. So, yo, dude, you reminded me. So check this out. Let's do some fog. Yo, I forgot about this. Hey, SynthLab with the raid. How you doing, brother? Thank you for the raid. Welcome to the show. Today we're doing Mandelbulb Monday, 007, the James Bond edition, I guess. How was your show today, sir? Since everyone's just joining us, I'll go through this really quick again. So like Mandelbulb Monday, we do 2 pieces, 1 per hour. It's a 2-hour show. And we use Mandelbulb 3D to generate these fractals. And then we kind of fly around. Hey, thank you for the follows, Statrax Berlin. Right on. Yeah, and then we kind of fly around, think of it as a planet, and land somewhere on the planet and find a nice landscape to sort of take a picture of. And then we do the lighting and whatnot, and we color it. And we end up with a finished piece at the end of an hour. I have to go shovel snow. Oh, no. All right, dude, thank you for the raid. Hey, your opponento. Your opponent 0. Thank you for the follow. I need to move that box out of the way. Anyway, we'll do that later. So, yeah, here we are, Mandelbulb Monday. And right now we were thinking about doing one more light. So this is our 6th lighting tab here. And I was thinking about maybe, you know what? I kind of like that now, though. Maybe we don't need something else in the sky to balance, because this actually, having this aurora here now is working out super well. So no, just thank you for that. Paul says, was gonna rock SynthLab sounds with phosphor graphics. Oh well. Phosphor graphics, yeah. That's what this is for sure. Hello. Yeah, SynthLab, you're in Jersey, right? We're getting slammed up in upstate New York, and like the coast is getting hit pretty hard right now. Okay, let's do a quick hydration check again. I just did a lot of talking. Your opponento. Because I couldn't see it very well. It was behind, the alert came up behind the chat box. And it was like, wait, what is, but I know I'm familiar with your opponent 0, because I was at the Synth Lab, at the Synth Fest. Genome Fire 77, upstate New York here too, but haven't gotten hit yet. Right on. Where about? I'm over near Hudson. Okay, so, we got 7 minutes to finish this, so let's think about this, right? We're looking at the fog. Let's actually save again, because this is a major change. And this is going to be 1.6. Let's do that posture check. Province of Quebec is a cold hell. Noises. Yes, sir. Rochester. But I used to live near you in Chatham. No, dude, no way, dude. Chatham is like a 15-minute drive. Back in high school in the 90s. Right on. Okay, so let's do this. Let's see. We decided we'd like that, correct? Okay, so now we're just going to mess with the fog a little bit. The offset. I don't want to lose too much of that, of the shadow. I think if we do this, this is nice. It gives it more of a... Just give the sky more of a vibe. Hey, Miko bites with the raid. Dude, like 3 raids in a row. Miko, how you doing today, man? Thank you so much for the raid. And welcome to all the raiders. Today we're doing Mandelbulb Monday. So I guess I'll go through the spiel again. We use Mandelbulb 3D to make alien landscapes, and then we kind of fly around and land on a spot. And hey, Tusuka, thank you for the follow. So yeah, we find a spot to land and almost like take a photo. We kind of like position the camera in a nice spot, and then we do some coloring and fog stuff, lighting stuff, and end up with some sort of piece of art. To me, these are kind of like, they're very inspired by Bob Ross landscapes in a way, but like alien Bob Ross. And that's why I was given the nickname Bob Foss by Evil Deadhead, our good friend, who you should also check out. And we got to make a Miko command. Reading and dipping, starving. Oh, thanks, Miko. Dude, anytime, come check it out. It's very fun. We do this every Monday. And do have something nice to eat. And let us know what it is if you come back. And then, hey, here's dessert. Thank you for the follow. I like dessert. Alien Bob Ross, I'm here for it. Right on. Yes, Evil Deadhead said I was Bob Foss, and I can never forget that, because it's awesome. Love Bob Ross. Okay, so, I guess we can call this a finished piece. We didn't really do the ambient light, but that can stay. We're leaving the background as just black. That's the depth. And then maybe we'll just kind of dial in the overall sort of contrast. Maybe we want to have it like that, so it's really the focal point is that spot of light, or we can have it be a more overall, maybe somewhere in the middle. Just kind of adjusting the overall brightness of the thing. I think that looks good right there. So we're going to save that again, and that'll be the final. So that'll be 1.7 final. And that way we have all of our iterations. If for some reason we want to go back, maybe we'll make a black and white one at some point, who knows. So we have it. And I need to go use the restroom, y'all. So that will happen, and you will hopefully enjoy the fractal and the fire while I'm gone. So hang on, I'll be right back. A shooting star. Hold on. Oh wait, we got M jokes in the chat. Hang on, chat. Not Bob's pho. The Bob Floss, the Montana dental hygiene magnate. Gotta love a Zappa reference. M says, what did the mail carrier say to the cargo carrier? Let's get ship-faced. M's doing shots too? Home run, fucking home run, M. A shooting star. No, I don't think I could do a shooting star with this, honestly, but, yeah, there's that. So, like, yeah, where are we at? We're going to save this one. We're right at 5 o'clock. That's been an hour, so we saved. And now we're going to, let's open default. And last week, what we did, we did another mutation of this one to get to where we were at. But I think this one, we're going to start a brand new one. But you know what? We have all this mutagen stuff here. Let's see what happens. Maybe we'll do an iteration on this one and have like another part of this landscape. And we'll reset the light. We'll do... I kind of usually start from this place of just a black background and a black and white image. And then think about the color later. Let's do another hydration check, and let's do a mutation on this and see what we get. This could be really fun. And again, the awesome thing about this is all these generations are still there, so we can actually even scroll back to beforehand. So if you're just joining us, this is where we went before we actually arrived at the thing we were at, which ended up being this generation. And now we're on generation 10. Let's keep mutating and see what we get. Let's just pick one of these and send it to the main window and see what it might look like. Maybe even something like this. This looks like a crater. Or this one. This is crazy. Let's just get an idea of what it's going to look like. So this one looks like it has some stuff going on to the z-axis because of all this noise. Wow, this is fucking cool, dude. Yo. And yet mutagen is a great feature. It pretty much just kind of swaps formulas and changes the parameters for you. Beta units. The fireplace is a nice touch. Thank you. It's fun. I love the crackle. I love white noise and stuff like that. So this is pretty nutty. Let's go into the navigator and there once again, that's what our last thing looked like before the color in a low res version. So let's grab all this stuff out. This is going to be tough to see. Yeah, since this is such a low res version of everything, it's like... Wait, why did our lighting not... Okay. Let's see if we can zoom out. We're just not going to be able to see anything with this. Okay, that's not... Maybe that's not the one. So, yeah, this is the exploration phase of Mandelbulbing, the first stage. Let's try this one. Wow, this one looks very much like... almost like a planetary landscape, with like an aerial shot. Let's see if we can mess with some of the parameters on this one. Is it possible to feed images to an arts AI? Or they just do something out of their database? Because you could fuck them off with your art. I mean, that's kind of like almost what this is in a way. It's like when you do these morphs, it's almost like that the deep mind or whatever the fuck it's called, that the Google thing, where it turns everything into like psychedelic dogs. It is crazy on CPU, and you could probably tell because you can see the stream stutter, the video stutters anyway when I'm rendering. All-inclusive noise. Oh shit, yeah. I like different colors of noise. There's pink noise, brown noise, blue noise. And yo, that reminds me, does anyone have some noise sources? I need some like different colors of noise. You don't see noise colors. You can if you look at them on a spectrum analyzer. Udra, thank you for the bits. Right on. Yo, MTV Raps. That's awesome. Right on, welcome. Okay, so let us, what we're going to do, we're going to go into the navigator, right? We're going to grab the parameter, formula, and light. And here's our low-res version of what we have. And let's see if we can look around and find, oh wow, look at that. We're trapped inside fractal land. Let's just view that to the main and see what we get. I don't know why the background went to white, but let's see. Oh, okay, I hit the one of these. That could be cool, but we'd have to clean it up a lot. It's very noisy. But you know what? You don't necessarily have to. That was just my initial thing. Hell yeah, the Paul command. And Noise just says, did I send you my ambient and various noises / sounds samples? Whatever you sent me for the collab is what I have. You have a sample pack? Can you share? Future says I made a kick and snare from one. Awesome. Yes, dude. Yeah, no, just don't. You have a new pack of ice that you smashed? That would be fun. So let's go here. Let me grab the black background again. And the way you do that is just, it's really just this depth. You set both of them to black. Oops. And this is an easier way to, when you're looking at stuff, you're not being bothered by color at first. You're kind of just looking at the overall composition and trying to find a good place to like park the camera. Let's get that hydration check. And the coffee check. Okay, let's go back. Actually, let's take a look at these, what formulas we got here. Okay, so this could be cool. We got Mandelbulb again. And Mistletoe Sim, or MSL Toe. MSL Tomos. Okay, so let's do this, yeah. We gotta grab the parameter formula and light. In this case, it was just the light, but let's see what some of these parameters do. So on the first formula, which is MSL toe, you only get this one. Oh wow, this could be cool though. So this is, I guess, multiplying the thing in the Y dimension. It's pretty nifty. Hey, that's cool. See, once you go past a certain point, and this would be an awesome animation as well, it'll kind of just like, it flips over on itself and then it goes back in the other direction, which is kind of interesting. So maybe let's go with that. So if we have this, we'll just kind of center this a little bit, and we'll do some quick animation keyframes so we can get an animation out of this later. Mistletoe moss, yes. Okay, so let's animation keyframe that. That'll be a starting point. And okay, we're still in the same, you know what, let's start a new one. So we're going to erase all these previous ones. And that'll just make it easier later to render out two animations from two separate things. Okay, so we got that. Let's start the chain of saves on these. This will be 2.1. So now we got that. Go back to the navigator. Okay, and now we'll do some Y multiplier. Kind of just go until it's actually going to flip over and then stop. So I'll go just past where it flips. Yeah, like right there. And then we'll just do a bunch of like rotating and move the camera a little bit just to give it a little bit more visual interest when it's animated. And hopefully we don't, you know what, let's just do the rotate. And then we'll go make sure we're not going to overwrite anything. We're on a blank slot. Back in the navigator, animation keyframe. That, and then we're going to save again. Let's overwrite that. 2.1, yes. Okay, and then we're going to do a quick render out to see what that'll actually look like as an animation, because this could be really cool. What? See, this is really weird. Like, this is not what it looks like at all. That's like taking a different, well, that's really weird. Let's just see what it does. And we'll visit the hotbox while we're doing that. We're seeing something about AI over here. Let me read this real quick. So you mentioned feeding R2 and AI. I've been looking for it. I think I lost the link, but there's a really cool site that lets you plug in two images and it renders image 1 in the art style of image 2, if that makes sense. Yeah, that does. Be interesting to see, like, merges them, but as if they were not one art style. Yeah, it just kind of, it doesn't really morph between the two. It kind of just like, it overlays the lattice of one on the other or something like that. I'm going to my laptop on to make something with my samples. Maybe it will be multiple small packs if I can't put them all in the same. Okay, yeah, dude. Turn my laptop on. Okay. Shot. The devil's lettuce. Fuck yeah. Okay, cheers, everybody. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why this is so weird. I've never had this problem where it's referencing the wrong frame. Like, this frame doesn't exist anymore, where it looks like this. The devil's lattice. It's a lattice so heavy only the devil could lift it. Something. So yeah, I don't know. Let's go back to Mandelbulb. I don't know what the deal is with this animation because it's clearly referencing the wrong thing, so whatever, I don't know. We'll just keep going. We're going to make a still image out of this one. Mandelbulb's being weird. There's an AI that is just a poem writing helper. Oh yeah. Okay, so let's mess with, we're doing this right. Now we're going to try and find a place where we can go and land. Who knows, maybe this one will be more of a zoomed out thing. Let's try that. Like an asteroid or something like that. It doesn't have to be necessarily a close-up landscape. And let's see what it kind of looks like from the other side. Looking. It is very symmetrical, though. It might be like too symmetrical for me to... I don't know, I kind of want it to be less symmetrical, but maybe we'll go with it. I tend to not go with the more symmetrical looking stuff, just out of like, I don't know, it's not as... It's kind of just mirroring, so it's not as dynamic overall, because it's kind of just the same thing over and over. But maybe that's what this one wants to be. So all we have here is the Y multiplier. I think we're going to leave that somewhere in, like in this range. Somewhere about there. Here. I think we'll just rotate some of these. No, it doesn't do much. Let's play with the far plane. Yeah, so up to a certain point, it doesn't really... Okay, it starts about there. Yeah, it's a very narrow range in a way. So we can kind of stay about there. Maybe the field of view. Hey, Alien Wizard 47. How are you doing today? I'm doing pretty well myself, thank you. Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Today we're doing Mandelbulbs in Mandelbulb 3D. It's Mandelbulb Monday, as always, number 007. And right now we're trying to find a place to fly around to on this sort of asteroid planet thing. And just get an overall composition in place for when we do our lighting. So this is going to be fun. I haven't done one of these like zoomed out things as a still image. I've done some animations that have that, but like, let's see where we can go with this. So we, Phoenix Strength. So these aren't going to do much because we're only on, oh wow, look at that. Okay, so if you do, so that's multiplying like the underlying thing. Okay, so and these won't do much either because the scale is kind of wrong, but okay, so then we go to formula 3, and there's nothing in 3. So you can change the iterations, but that's really it. So maybe, oh, look at that. That's kind of interesting too. Let's actually render that out to the main window and see what that looks like in higher resolution. We're definitely back in kidney stone territory here. So let's get that hydration check again, y'all. Thanks, Alien Wizard. It is very fun. so I think we're going to use this. Maybe we'll do a save right there. And yeah, we're not going to worry about the animation on that. Let's just do a save here on the main. Now, I know this kind of doesn't look like much right now, but once we get the lighting in there, a lot of these details are going to pop. And I think this can work for us. Actually, maybe this time we'll start with the fog in mind, because I do want to kind of get light sources going on behind this and having all that kind of foggy, those streams coming off of it, almost like a comet tail. That would really help the overall composition as well, because there's nothing sort of in the background. Now let's change one of these colors. Maybe this will be more towards the warm. Last one was a cool piece. This will be like a warm piece. Yeah, I kind of don't want this to be too intense. Like, we could totally go like that, which does look kind of cool, but maybe it doesn't need to be that intense. Maybe more sort of in there. Planet anus, space anus. So much surface area. This is like always really the fun part, where the whole thing kind of comes together and comes to life when you do the lighting. Let's go to, all right, let's go into lighting tab 2. I think we're going to leave, maybe we'll just adjust the color on this one a little bit, and a little bit of the XY position. But again, as a default light, I think it's a good thing to use the first slot as they give it to you, and just kind of change the color and mess with the angle a little bit. Okay, let's stick with that, and we'll work with that as our basis of our composition to do the positional lights. Let's actually just take a quick look at this from further away. I think it's pretty good. I like the composition overall, and even right away, it is hard to do composition like this when something is directly in the center. You really have to make sure all the lines that are going in and out of this thing are very, like, this has a sort of infinity kind of deal going on, like a figure 8. Hey, Alien Wizard, thank you for the bits. Yeah, this has this, and it kind of makes the whole piece work, is it has this figure 8 kind of thing going on. Which, if this were more of a flat surface with none of that, it would be more difficult to kind of move the eye around the piece. So let's go with that, and let's get another hydration check, y'all. Space prolapse. It's sort of I guess it could be a space kidney stone. that somehow migrated into the anus and made its way out that way rather than through the usual means. Hey, Alien Wizard, thank you for the follow on Instagram. Let us get back into the lighting here. So lighting tab 2. We're going to make this positional. And let's start doing, I kind of want to amplify the light behind the piece in some of the spots. So let's do midpoint. Actually, let's change the color first. Let's go, this is going to be more towards the warm, so it's over to yellow and red. Kind of like that kind of orange in there. Let's do a quick stretch, y'all. Let's get some of those deep breaths. Okay, let's get back into it. So we got this orange light. And yeah, we're going to position this behind over here somewhere. So it's going to start there, and then we're going to Z position it backwards. Not too much. So it'll be kind of peeking around and then lighting up all these things. That's really nice. Kind of somewhere in there. Actually, kind of where I had it was really nice. It's kind of peeking out from behind that this crack right here. Don't want it to be too intense. Okay, let's not overthink it. Let's go to the next one. And again, I'm going to go positional. Let's change the color. Get this more towards the, maybe mostly red. Go midpoint. And let's drop it somewhere over here. I think in here somewhere. Let's just make it visible for a second so we can see. So yeah, it's right there. So something like that, and then we'll make it maybe more intense. And okay. It's too intense. That's like the fire at the circus. It was intense. All right, so let's go to light 4. We're going to go positional. Actually, maybe let's try global light on this one. And we'll do that on 6 if we get to 6. Let's pick a color. We'll set the midpoint and we'll put it somewhere maybe back here. It's really nice. That'll help us balance out this hotspot down here. Casting light on all these ridges. And yeah, this is really where it starts to come to life. Once you see like how this is a 3D shape with light bouncing all over it, it really makes a lot more sense than when you're just kind of flying around in the low-res navigator window. Guess we're not quitting our day jobs. Not yet. Not yet. Okay, so we got this light. Actually, I think that's great where it is. Maybe we'll just position the Y down a little bit. Or, wrong way. Oh, hang on, I'm getting a phone call from my host. Okay, we back. Okay, so let's keep that light where it is, and then we'll go to 5. We're going to go positional again. And maybe this one will be more yellow. You know what? Maybe more towards the red, yeah. Need more balance there. So we'll go visible, we'll go midpoint, and let's place that light. It's going to be somewhere down here. Ooh. I want it to be somewhere about right there, yeah. Let's see if we can just scooch it over a little bit. Take the intensity down just a notch or two. Okay, it's looking good. We're doing okay here. Okay, so now we have one more light we can use. And then we already did the fog. Maybe we'll just mess with the fog after that to kind of get dial in the overall. Okay, so let's set this on to maybe this one will be sort of magenta. I'm going to go positional and set the midpoint, make it visible for a minute. Maybe this needs to be in this area. We'll make it invisible. Almost fluffy texture, yes. And Dr. G with another shot. And in honor of that shot, let's do a hydration check. I think that would be the thing to do. If we're ever going to do shots on stream, we're going to have like that be the reminder of another hydration check. Okay, so let's just adjust let's do an AB on this real quick. And really, this is just adding a little bit of a little something over here to help balance some of this stuff. Let's get that small view again. This is always really helpful to see what's happening overall. Same as you would if you were painting. You would just step back from your painting. Just kind of like cotton candy or something, right? Some Tito's and soda. And combusting in homage to the fireplace. Sent samples in the Discord. Okay, great. I will definitely. Oh yeah, and by the way, we have the I don't know if you caught it on the VOD noises, but I worked on your collab with Cess. That thing you sent me, I worked on that last week on stream, and I have the WAV file. I can actually play it in a little bit. Actually, I think we might close out the show by doing that. We'll play that and maybe a couple of the weird tracks from my new record, currently unreleased. Okay, so I think this might be it, y'all. Let's dial in the fog a little more and see if we can. Oh, you know what? I forgot to save these. Save M3I. I forgot to save after every light, but that's okay. I just didn't want to lose this version. Perfect. Okay, version 2.2. Oh, we also did not do any post-process shadowing, but in this case, I don't think we need the hard shadows as much. I think we have a lot of good contrast going on already, and especially since the lights are sort of peeking out from behind this object, it's not going to have shadows as if the light source were off over here or over here, you know? So I think we can go with that. And what was I about to do? Yo, I totally forgot we were going to do it before we saved. I was like, oh, we got to save, and then it wasn't post-process. Oh, it was more the fog. Let's dial in the fog. Maybe at this point, maybe now we'll take it a little bit further into that, like, heavy territory. And this is also a good spot where you can just bounce out a bunch of different versions of the same general thing, but just different color variations. Hey. Yeah, I feel like this one, it doesn't want to be too over the top in terms of lighting. So maybe something like that. Somewhere in this area, not too much like that. That's way too much, or even that. Like I want to leave some of the black background. Like somewhere right in there. Maybe one notch less than that. These are tough to adjust. Maybe there. Let's try that. Ambient lighting was just this. Yeah, maybe in this case we'll want to do something with the background. That could be kind of cool too. But then we're kind of getting into that overblown territory again. Maybe we'll leave it as much darker, like almost black. It'll be sort of like brown. Or that doesn't make sense though, does it? Maybe it'll be like purple. Like almost black. Does that make sense though? I like it overall, but I think it makes more sense as just as full black background. It does work. It just becomes almost like a different thing. This is more of like a thing floating in space, whereas having a color in the background makes it more of like a close-up thing. So since we have time, let's do some of this actual rendering, or making a larger render. So we'll do keep aspect ratio, and we'll scale this up. Let's go to 2300 for right now. And we're going to do some of the calculation just to try and clean some of the noise up here. Let's go to like 0.3, and then on the smooth normals, we'll go to like 6. Let's go 4. Let's see what we get out of that. Just try and clean up some of the stray pixels here and there. Oh, you're all talking about craft beer. Purple is the night. A flying alien booger. And LJ Matthews art says, this looks rad. Thanks, LJ Matthews. Okay, so let's take a look. And that did clean up a bunch of the stray pixels. I might want to try and see what I can do about these little highlights right there. Because I think that's actually like a gap in the fractal maybe. I could just later on, I might do a bit of a Gaussian blur on this in Procreate to clean up some of the stray pixels too. Just do like a 0.01%. Okay, so let's zoom out. Yeah, I kind of like that. And this definitely has some sort of faces in it too. Like there's like right here, I definitely see like an eyeball, a little nose, and a mouth right here. Like there's a head, like a baby head stuck on the side of this thing. And then there's also another one here. There's an eye, here's a mouth. That almost looks like a chimp face. Like here's the bottom jaw, here's like the snout kind of deal. Top lip. Eyeball. Gives me 2001 Space Odyssey vibes. Like the Star Child and the whatever the ape's name was. Moonwalker or whatever the fuck he was called. Does anyone know? Does anyone remember that? Borg Booger. So let's throw on some of that the Noises collab. That's what I got so far. So that's what we got. That was me just chopping up and editing and adding stuff to a wave file that Noises sent me, which is his thing that he's so I guess now we're all working on this thing with the intention of having Sess rap over it, yeah? So that's going to be awesome. So I tried to do some weird stuff in there. So good, you're buffering. Thanks, Alien Wizard. Thanks, Paul. Yeah, so that's that. Pretty happy with where that's going. And then we got this other stuff. Like these are the 3 beat off rounds from Beat Off with Brightside from the past week, and then a bunch of the other stuff I'm looking to put on my next record. So this is round 1 of the beat off. Pretty hard because I'm crunching out this big image right now. It's done actually. I don't know about this one. This one might not make the cut on the record. in this one, probably because of the sample might not make it, but this is fun. So your buddy's working on the tracks we made recently. Texted me he had a snow day to play. Awesome, dude. Like those Animoke samples. A lot of the samples from my circuit band MT260 in that one. This one now. Hey, Javare. How you doing today, Javare? We're just taking a listen to some of these new tracks I've been working on in the past couple months. This is round 5 of the Optic collab. Thanks, Liz. Hey, Em. Broken break beats, yes. This is like my new thing of doing these hyper edits. Also, is going to play with some patching. Have about 40 minutes left to produce. See you next time. And the gang. Right on. Thanks, Paul. We love you. We appreciate you. Thanks for stopping by and hanging out with us. And have fun with that modular, that BCV. This track is the one I shared on Ohm's podcast, or his show today. Gave me some really good tips about doing some moving notch filters and things on the noise and in certain frequency ranges to give more movement. And let's see who we're going to rate today. Joyce Rainbow Art today, y'all. I just found out about this channel a couple days ago. I'm always looking for different artists I can follow, so let me know if you know anybody else too. Thanks, Javari. Let's see, this one. A lot of these came out of my experiments with doing those really hard frequency splits in Pro Q using the brick wall and just having like 8 different frequency ranges I could split out and then just like making a really thick, like all over, like just a super saturated in all parts of the spectrum kind of thing, and then muting different bands. I'm still using that in my live set. I have that rack in the live set where I just turn off whole bands. It's really fun. So we'll hear a couple more here and then we're going to raid. Lab said I should put some servo sweeps, like a robot arm, like kind of like something like that in some of these. I thought that was a cool criticism. And then then there's a couple here with the vocals in them. Let's just hear this. I always need more perspective, so now I'm listening on headphones, whereas the last time I was mixing this, I was mixing on my monitors. I haven't made too many changes to this recently. This one definitely needs some mixing still. Home gave me some good advice about doing some filter stuff on the high end of this that I'm going to try and implement. Okay, so that's a bunch of stuff there. It's like 8 tracks. Cool. So yeah, some of that stuff will be on the new album, and I'm kind of just like rotating stuff in and out and making a lot of stuff and like having a playlist and seeing what works together and how I can piece this all together into probably a record, like an LP. You think you know? Do you think you know, Dr. G? How many beers or how many drinks does it take till you don't think you know? Shot. Okay, so yeah, everyone, we're gonna go raid Joyce Rainbow Art. She's doing something with I think India inks right now, which looks awesome. And so yeah, thank you everyone for joining me today for Mandelbulb Monday, number 007. And I'll see you for stuff tomorrow in Ableton. I'm not sure what we're gonna do, but we're gonna do something. And it'll be 4 p.m. again. So I think this is gonna be the new time slot. I think I like this better. I'm kind of like more awake at 2 o'clock, at 4 o'clock than 2. So let's try this, 4 p.m. So thank you, everyone. And let's go raid. I'll go in there and drop some emotes and whatnot, say hello. And these pieces, these Mandelbulbs will be up in the shop soon. So I'll see you on the other side, y'all. Let's go. Yeah.